YouTube, Glow Yard Gang, combat sports and entertainment fans all across the world. Welcome to another episode of the best WWE recap show on YouTube. This is We Talk Combats with myself, King, and my co-host. I'll introduce them one by one. Queen, how you doing, babe? How you feeling this weekend?
I had a great weekend. I can't even complain. It was an awesome
Hey,
birthday weekend. Some interesting stuff happened during the week as well with wrestling. So let's get to it.
yes, ma'am. Travis, what up, bro? How are you this weekend? How you feeling? You muted, bro. You forgot to unmute yourself.
Okay.
You muted again. Look on your screen. Did you say something?
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Okay, yeah. I'm good. Happy Father's Day to all the fellas.
All right. Thank you, bro. I wanted to get to that in a second, but you got ahead of me. What up, BA? How you feeling this weekend, bro? Happy belated birthday to you now.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. I just know that it's time to put up and shut up. That's what it's time for.
Hey, it sounds like you about to give us the truth. What up, Devon, bro? How you feel, man, this weekend? How you doing?
Speaking of, I'm doing good. I'm driving now.
Yeah, I on the road again, man, doing double duty. But we appreciate everybody joining the show as always, but also appreciate everybody watching. If you could do us a favor and hit that subscribe button somewhere beside Devon's left shoulder over there, and also hit that like button. It helps us out with the algorithm, gets us out to more combat sports and combat entertainment fans like yourself. But other than that, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Anybody that plays a father role in particular. Appreciate y'all for what you do. And other than that, let's get right to the highs and the lows of the show. If you haven't been here before, we give a couple segments. But first, we talk about the week in wrestling. Let's go. All right, first up, y'all, we had Raw this week. What we normally do, if you're new here, we give our highs and lows of the show and then give a letter grade real quick. Just the overall rundown, not really a full recap because we try to get the show over within an hour to get to your questions and comments at the end. But first and foremost, I'll go around the round table real quick. Queen, babe, let's start with you. What was your overall opinion of this week's Raw? And what's your
So we're
letter grade?
still okay. So I wanted to say we're still coming off this R Truth thing. So it's becoming really intertwined with the plot, which I'm really enjoying. I love it when organic stuff happens. I would actually say this week probably I'm gonna actually give it a B minus, which is high. Um, Last week and this week were just really engaging episodes. I felt like if you bought a ticket to Raw or SmackDown this week, then you probably got your money's worth. You got to see a lot of awesome talent there. We're building up to the King of the Ring match that's going to be coming up in a few weeks, and the Queen of the Ring as well, Queen. But yeah, I thought that the whole episode itself was good. I enjoyed seeing Chad Gable out there again. Chad Gable puts on a good match. He's a good seller. He's a good executor. Even though AJ Styles, I believe, won over him, which AJ Styles, we'll put him to the side for the moment. We did start with a really good segment with John Cena. He is really leaning into this whole heel thing very heavily. And I think that as well as the R Truth storyline is starting to combine into it. And it's making it very juicy, very interesting to watch. I know CM Punk as well came out and kind of did his counter promo against John Cena's promo. And I like that they're building off of each other and it's coming off I mean, not coming off, but it seems like it is very natural right now, and I like it. I think that it has reinvigorated the company and is helping a lot of people not just get a chance to shine, but as well as I think it's setting the stage for the younger town as well. To kind of now they're beginning to be able to see these organic storylines being created, and they can learn maybe now how to do their better promos. But as I said, this week was a good week. There was a few things I wanted to really touch on, but the major thing I want to talk about was Gunther and Jey Uso. I feel like they did him dirty by prematurely having him, like just I feel like the Jey storyline has been running a long time and we're enjoying it, but I feel like he's becoming a punching bag. And I'm not really enjoying that part too much. But I'm hoping that the story solidifies and makes this a really interesting storyline that we get to watch all the way through. Like, so I'm hoping that all these little pieces are glued to the story and that they enhance the story and not as much take away. Because right now I feel like seeing him get beat up by everybody too much is kind of taking away. It's becoming like a Dragon Ball Z episode, but it's not building enough. That's what I wanted to say, is that it's kind of stalled a little bit. And it's just kind of becoming repetitive of Jey getting beat up every weekend by everybody. Like, that's been rather annoying. But as I said, those were the major things that I thought that kind of held it going. I don't really care much for Sami Zayn, and I know that he's going to be going to King of Ring, and that's cool. But I feel like on the counterpart of that, I feel like they're doing LA Knight dirty, but I know a few other people wanted to kind of touch on that, so I'll leave it there. But it overall still a B minus though. Still B minus episode.
B minus for Raw. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Make sure you get yourself up and mute. But what is your overall opinion of Monday Night Raw this week, and what's your letter grade?
Okay, my letter grade for Monday Night Raw is a C plus. I've really what's that? Enjoyed the R-Truth promos, the CM Punk promos. The only thing I really had a problem with was kind of the Liv Morgan and Nikki Bella. Like, it's, to me, that's boring. But I know they're both boring, so it kind of makes sense. Well, at least for me, it do. But this is why I have a problem. Like, I know that we probably know who's the replacement in the King of the Ring tournament.
They announced it already.
That they announced it already. So my problem with is that Jey is in the tournament, and it's not that the fact that Jey is in the tournament, it's more the fact that he lost. And now I was just thinking, like, why doesn't Jey just reverse the role that he did, kind of like with Gunther? Like, let him come out and let him call for a rematch. But it feels like these rematch clauses is just trash now. Like, it feels like people are getting favorites to get rematches, and that's what I don't like about that. But also, I enjoyed the kind of the fatal four-way. But my boy made an appearance yet again. He got cheated, but it's all good though. But overall, Raw gets a C plus.
Okay. All right. So we got a B minus and a C plus. Justin, what's your overall feelings on the show, bro? And what's your letter grade?
I'm gonna give it a C as well. Just a regular C. To spark it off with the CM Punk and Cena, whenever you have these two guys having a promo together, you're in for a rare time, because these are legitly two of the best talkers that we have in the business. So to hear them go back and forth for an extended period of time, for however long this feud goes into, I'm here for it, and I'll sit down and watch it. I'm gonna come back to that. Then you had AJ Styles against Chad Gable, completely just no progression when it comes to that match. Styles won, but it didn't really hold any water for either one of those guys. When you go with Rhea, Roxanne, and Kari and Liv, I did want Liv to win that, but Roxanne got the rocket. So clearly I knew she was going to win that particular match. And Rhea is getting a couple L's under the belt. So mind you, just keep that going, because I know everyone says, oh, Rhea Ripley, she just always battling for the title, so on and so forth. But she got an L. She is not in this King of the Ring. So we'll see what Roxanne can do with that.
How many pinfalls is she taking, though?
Hey, L is an L at the end of the day. You're not winning. You're not winning. And you don't want to tarnish her particular record so far when it comes to that, to taking pinfall L's. But it is what it is. We keep moving. You got Becky. Becky came out with a decent promo. She said, "What? I don't get no you deserve it, love." So she said, F it. I'm gonna go on. I don't need it. So I like the fact that Lyra came out, and then Bayley finally made her return. So clearly that's not over yet. We're gonna keep going with those three, and that just keeps Lyra interesting for a little bit more. She's always teetering on the I can go without her, and most people still feel that way. But Bayley coming back should be some type of resurgence for her. Truth comes out with his promo. Killings comes out with his promo, whoever he wants to call himself. And it was on time. He pretty much just took over the show. And it's like This dude is like Sting right now. He's having some Sting moment where as though Sting would just come out of nowhere and just take over. He's just not coming from the Raptors and risking injury. He's just coming out of nowhere. So I like to see that part going. I think that's a nice stick for him. And let's see how far that goes when it comes to SmackDown. Then you got the 4-way, Sammy, Penta, Dom, and Braun. Good match. The best part was LA Knight and the fact that he came out, like Travis said, and interfere with this match. Maybe that was a problem for him. Maybe he shouldn't have done that. Maybe he should probably not do or not poke at the bear, because the bear tends to fight back, and that's pretty much what happened. Sammy won this, and the best thing about Sammy winning this is the fact that this keeps Karrion Kross interesting. This keeps Karrion Kross having a job. This is the last thing for Karrion Kross. So if he can continue to piggyback off of Sammy's wins and keep throwing little subtles at him, like, hey, you got to tap to the dark side. You got to do this. You got to do that. We know who you really are. When you keep doing that enough, then both of y'all want to actually climb the ranks together. So if Sammy wins, Karrion Kross still has a job. Nikki Bella, I can care less about Nikki. I don't know who asked for this particular person to come back. I know I damn sure didn't. And I'm glad Liv came out and did her move on her, just because, if she brings her sister out, that's one thing. I guess they still have views. I'm not following them on social media. They might bring some extra viewers here. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock that aspect of it, but I truly do not care for Nikki Bella. And the fans really did not care for Nikki. There was no pop here, nothing like that. There was nothing saying, oh, my God, Nikki Bella's back. Like, yo, watch out. There was absolutely none of that. So we'll see how far that goes. But no one's checking for Nikki, and, deservingly so. Gunther and Jey, it was a good match. I'm glad they had the injury angle because he's been like Queen said, he was going all over the place, losing here, getting beat up here, getting beat up there. The Logan Paul spot clearly took a shot at his ribs, and he was injured. So Gunther beat an injured Jey Uso. That's what he can hold his head on, the fact that, you beat me injured. So when he comes back, like Travis said, eventually he'll say the fact that, hey, you beat me while I was injured, so I deserve another shot because I was a champion. But, that's how they feel about rematches.
He back next week.
Say it again.
He back next week.
That's what I'm saying. But he's going to be in the King of the Ring. So it's just he doesn't need to be. He's just to go straight to Gunther saying, this is how you.
That's what I'm saying. So they're not going to do that. That's crazy, but it is. I'm sorry.
Understood. And I understand your viewpoint on that. But we got Gunther being a champion. Let me wrap it up by saying the fact that he did get the fireworks. He did get the pyro at the end of it. I was like, okay, that was still a Raw. But he got that. They made it sound a little bit more extravagant than what it was, I guess. I don't know. And then he said something backstage. I don't know if it was on TV or not, but I think I seen it on YouTube or whatever. At the fact that he said no one cheer for him. He said, normally when somebody become champion, so the locker room comes back and they cheer for you, clap it up for you. He said, no, I didn't get none of that. I was just by myself. So one man gang kind of thing. So I'm wondering if they're trying to plant the seeds of him being a solo guy, him being like, it's all on me kind of a thing. And that could be the ground of the seeds of him being some type of a face turn other than being a villain. So it's something now I'm waiting to see what happens with that. So all in all, it was just a regular C for me. No C plus for me. Not for this.
All right. What up, Devon? What's your overall opinion of Raw and your letter grade?
So I'm gonna go ahead and start off and say a B, but I'm gonna tell you my grade is pointing a lot towards R-Truth. I'm sorry, Ron Killings. Anything to do with Ron Killings right now, I'm on it. I'm loving it. The fact that he has the upper hand on Cena right now. The fact that he has the upper hand on Cena right now on every interaction, I'm loving it. Anytime that he can beat Cena up, do it. I love the fact that also Cena is allowing this to happen. I know that Cena's putting a lot of work into his retirement or his tour, and the fact that Ron Killings is getting this opportunity, I'm very appreciative. In that token, I want to see his lights get punched out by Ron Killings every chance that he can do it. I think that was the high point for me. For the Gunther and the Jey Uso, I know that there's a reason as far as Gunther having the title right now, but for my outlook, I think I'm waiting to see what they do with the King of the Ring. I'm actually not personally against him being in the King of the Ring because they can use this for more decoration under his belt and just adding on to it. And him being the champion, he wouldn't be able to have that opportunity being in there. Maybe it's just something to check mark off the list for him, just to add to his resume. Who knows? He's still young-ish, so he's still got some time to have another opportunity down the road. You know, but the one thing that I wanted to say from my low point, one is Nikki Bella being there in the first place on the active roster. But also, I think it was Io Sky that she had an interaction with behind the scenes or backstage in this forced promo with her thanking her, and I didn't need to see all that.
Oh, you thought that was forced too?
Yeah, I felt like that was forced. Like, I don't think that the ego boost was needed on TV. If they said it, face to face, off camera, that's one thing. But to put something like that on TV, it just seems like there was too much effort put into something, and it doesn't lead anywhere. Unless Io was gonna, try to build her up to end up attacking her, maybe, or turning on her. If that happens, all right, I'm kind of cool with it. But if nothing else happens with that, that was a waste of my time. But that's pretty much all I had. I still think it was a B+, but again, I'm going to give it mainly for R-Truth. Ron Killings.
Ron Killings. Okay. I'm going to give this show a B+. I know I'm on a different wave right now than I normally am. But I'm with you, Devon. I think R-Truth, rewind. I think Ron Killings right now is fire. I responded to shout out to, I think, Assemble Wrestling. He had a video talking about R-Truth, and he don't see him getting the championship and all that. And I said, you got to. He's the hottest draw right now. I said he's a combination of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde with that craziness as far as a split personality, but also a sting, like you said, BA, like that vigilante. I think he is. Right now, you have to ride that wave. It's a movement right now. He's getting the most views, the most interaction, the highest, the biggest pop right now. So everything involved, like I feel like every storyline has been like magnified or like placed on a higher level because of Ron Killings right now. Like he was the missing piece that Paul Levesque, shout out to Paul Levesque, almost let go. So you watch him right now. It's like a horrible business move, but it's an awesome business
move. You said almost?
What you mean? As far as almost?
No, he was let go, and they brought him back. Well,
he was his contract was done. Once he was done,
right. He wasn't necessarily released. They wasn't going to renew the contract. I'm teasing. Go ahead.
But yeah. I know. But yes, he was gone. But for Paul Levesque, it's like such a bad business move. It's like I know it's working right now, and it's going to get them a bunch of money. But to have that guy right there when you've been looking for a Roman Reigns replacement, or like somebody that can help out a Cody Rhodes, or just somebody that can push along a story to make it something different. You had him there the whole time, and now to go against him and do what you did, you unlocked a beast right now. And it's like basically it's your pride to decide how far this goes, basically, as far as Paul Levesque. So I hope TKO's on his ass as far as that, but everything, bro. Like like I said, the weak point of the show is Nikki Bella. Who needs that? I'm not a Bella Twins fan at all. I felt like they were forced because of who they were involved with. That's my personal opinion. I never was like the biggest fan of either their wrestling ability. I know Nikki when it got a little better, but she's still not one of the greatest wrestlers to me. Io Scott's way better than her in my opinion, but that's just me. So I don't even think that needs to be a conversation there. She should be appreciate Io Scott for changing the way the game is now. But everything else I thought was great. CM Punk and Cena. Cena's heel change is going to be incredible now. Like this second half of Cena's heel turn is going to be incredible because of R-Truth. Everybody else, the whole like CM Punk and all of that, they got like their little goon now as far as Ron Killings being their guy. So he's attached to all of that. Like everything is just taking a step up, and the WWE has gotten a fire it really needed at this point because of Ron Killings. So I'm gonna give it a B+. I thought this was an awesome Raw episode, especially as far as wrestling has been, or as far as how wrestling has been since WrestleMania. I thought it was trash and Raw in general, but this week I'm gonna give Raw a B+. I thought it was pretty good. But with that being said, Let's get over SmackDown, y'all. Let's go the opposite way. Start with you, Devon, man. We had a SmackDown this week, another 3-hour SmackDown. What was your feelings about SmackDown? What was your overall rating as far as your letter grade?
Same thing with SmackDown. I'm gonna say Ron Killings. I love his. I love the fact that and I mentioned this last week, I think, or at one time in the past, Kane's Night of Destruction. There was a time in the 90s or in the Attitude Era where Kane had moments where he would come out to the ring multiple times in the same night and beat everybody up. And right now, even though he's not attacking anybody but John Cena, the fact that he's coming out on site every time Cena's out there and beating him up, I love that, and I hope to see it more. That's actually the highlight of my night. That's all I really. That's really what I wanted to talk about is that particular moment.
That's fine, bro. R-Truth is that guy right now, but it's simple. My statement is going to be pretty short and sweet as well. But BA, what's your overall take on the SmackDown this week, and what's your letter grade?
To me, now we going to jump into the B because I just got a little bit more from R. Killings other than just a promo in a sense, right? He actually went and did some things for me. So when Cena opened it up with just him doing his own thing, that was kind of, he tried to do the mastermind thing, but I guess the thing of note, he didn't mention The Rock. So we're further away from The Rock than we actually probably will want. Because he mentioned how he controlled this and he's pretty much playing puppet master amongst the locker room. So then you have the showdown in a sense, right? RKO, Cody, they all come out there, and then LA Knight comes out, and I was like, and I was speaking to Travis about this. I'm like, yo, this dude he fits. Like, I don't know why he's not getting the push that he needs. Maybe they're waiting on it. Maybe he's going to go over to Raw and take that particular title. I'm not sure, but when he came in, he fit right in amongst everybody else, and those are the heavy hitters in our industry in a sense, right? So, we just move up. Then R Killings comes out and does this thing, part 1, right? So then we move on. Randy Orton gets that spot. Shout out to Carmelo Hayes. If you really watch this match, this 4-way match, him, Aleister Black, Randy Orton, and LA Knight, Melo was putting on a performance when it comes to selling everything. Like he was doing his best to make sure you remember how he fought in this particular match. So I always want to give love, especially when Melo does something a little bit more than the usual. So this dude performed very well. But that finish, that RKO from that spot, Randy, shout out to you. You did it yet again. Jade and Piper, this 4-way, Nia and Michin. I expected Jade to win. Jade is on that. She has her straight lane to being a champion, or at least winning King in the Ring, right? So Queen in the Ring. So she's going to get that. Only spot in here that was of relevance to me, the fact that Jade finished her move on Big Piper and pause on that, but to lift that big woman up, I know she jumped a little bit, then locked the legs. That still takes just overall rooted strength, and she does that night in, night out. Now, my personal moment, I know y'all love Ron Killings and all that stuff, and I hear y'all on that. But Solo and Jacob, this is the feud that I'm watching. This is the thing that I'm looking at twice and things like that. I go back and make sure I don't miss anything. Jacob came out, did his thing or whatever on a promo tip, and then they had Solo on the screen or whatever. So I would love to see Solo in person. I guess they're going to save that for next week because of what we could talk about in the T later on. But the fact that Solo is just getting himself together and understanding that there's a bigger player here, him and Jacob is going to have a feud, hopefully for the ages. I can't wait for it. Y6 came out. No one cares about the Y6. I'm sorry. Did y'all just even in the SmackDown tag team division, which is hot right now, it's hot. They're just not selling, guys, and it's just when it comes to selling, they're not going over with the crowd. The crowd is not they're not feeling them like that, and you already see it. At least it's a storyline here. YS6 against each one of those tag teams up until they get to the Street Profits, and hopefully the Street Profits don't lose. But if they get that far, they're going to win. So it's like I don't want to see that coming. I hope Triple H or somebody else swerve on this particular storyline. I don't like it. I don't want it, but it's happening, right? They already beat Machine Gun, Motorhead. What I don't even care about them. It's just
Motor City Machine Gun Kelly's.
No one cares about these people, but they fought and Y6 won. Cena and Punk, I don't think people was prepared for Punk to be out there on a SmackDown, so he shows up. Crowd goes crazy and everything like that, but lo and behold, we were just waiting, and it showed up. It happened again, right? R-Truth came out, Ron Killings came out there, gave your boy the STF joint, and it was just
better than Cena.
It was a lovely way for Cena to get up out of there. And then we the women had their 4-way. That was cool. The ending was pretty much all you needed to see. The fact that Bliss did her move, and then Charlotte was doing her move, but Bliss got the 1, 2, 3 because hers is an impact move and Charlotte's is a submission move. We're going to see more out of Bliss and Charlotte. Charlotte will probably interfere with Bliss's match next week. We'll probably see something like that. And Cody wins his match. That's it.
So, Travis, good, excellent points, BA. Excellent points, and a nice way to finish your soliloquy. Travis, what is your overall opinion of the show this week's SmackDown, and what is your overall grade?
Man, this may be the best SmackDown right now in the Triple H era. I actually enjoyed SmackDown this week. I gave SmackDown an A.
My God,
I loved everything about SmackDown this year. I loved everything. From when Cena first came out, then everybody came to remember LA, Cody, Randy coming in. Then the match from out the gate, the Fatal 4-Way match came in, and then Truth came in, followed up with everything. But kind of like piggyback what BA said about the Y6, I feel the same exact way. They're just going to keep running the gauntlet until they get to the Profits. But also, I did hate that my boy took the pinfall, but I couldn't hate though, because I love that spot with the RKO and Mello.
I thought Mello was going to take the pin. I ain't gonna lie, but when he rolled out the ring, I was like, yes. I was like, I'm sorry, LA Knight, but yes.
Now I'm hoping that this got to turn into something between LA Knight and Braun Breaker at least. I guess going down the side, I guess. But
I guess
I'm glad that Jade won because of I think she was in the tournament last year. She had a one-on-one with Naya, I believe, but I think it came to a no contest. So let's say I'm kind of happy that she won. Like I said, R-Truth again. R-Truth, Ron Killings, like he saved SmackDown for me this week. I loved everything about R-Truth this week. They said the females fatal 4-way. I had no problem with that. Alexa Bliss did a thing, got the pin 1, 2, 3. It was all good. But like I said, SmackDown is going to get an A for me this week.
My God, look at you going out on limb and giving SmackDown an A. Queen, babe. Cool. What are you giving SmackDown this week? What's your overall opinion of the show and your letter grade?
So, as I said, this week was a good week if you bought tickets to any of the shows. You got to see basically most of everyone on the WWE roster that has like a not just an active storyline, but a lot of talent that even like we saw I already just forgot his name that fast. Man, my Japanese guy. I couldn't even think of his name.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke.
Nakamura.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Shinsuke.
Yeah, I was like, dang. I was like, he still worked there? I was like, okay. But
he thinks
yeah,
the
it was a
same
great
thing
week
too.
if you bought tickets. Yeah. Seth Rollins storyline, they're pushing it heavy. It's starting to hit a little bit of a stall and everything, but I would say I would give this episode a B. As I said, it was very strong, a lot of strong matches. Even the Charlotte Alexa Bliss doing their double moves was awesome. I've been really enjoying the double moves they've been doing with ladies. Like that's been cool. The Siamese moves. Well, I feel like Siamese is not politically correct. Conjoined moves or whatever. But as I said, yeah, it was a great episode. We continued more with the John Cena promos. I think he got like 18 or 19 more shows that he has to do before he done. And like everybody else said, it was the Ron Killings show this week. So he came out with the Kanye "I'm gonna let you finish" haircut, and then just kept coming out and fighting Cody every time he was on site. So that was heavily enjoyable. All that just because of everything that led to what was it? WrestleMania. Like all the things that were like leading up all this year to the things that happened off camera to the things that now are happening on camera because of what happened off camera. So as I said, it was a strong week. Um, those were really the main like points of that were like worth paying attention to. We got to see Randy again, and it was Travis's boy LA Knight. I mean, so let's see Mr. Hayes and then Mr. Black. I don't really care much for Mr. Alistair Black, but I understand the whole purpose of why that little segment went on because as I said, we're setting up now for the next PLE King of the Ring. Um, let's see. The Jacob promo was awesome too. I like that they had Solo on the screen, so it kind of was like like a black exploitation film a little bit. Like he was Mr. Big, like and letting him know who's really in control. He's the guy. He's the boss. And that I'm glad that the Ulafala and Bloodline storyline is starting to get a little bit more traction. But I will say this: I'm kind of getting a little burnt out on Jacob Fatu's catchphrases. I'm gonna need him to kind of do a little more with that. I think he's starting to realize that it's not just all catchphrases. You got to have a little bit more personality with it too. Now that you're talking on camera so much, because before he was kind of a little bit more mysterious and didn't talk. So it was like that was the mystique of it. Now he's talking too much, but not a lot about nothing. But women's matches, as I said, were hot this week. We got to see Jade again, and Nia Jax as well. Like I would say, those are besides Bianca and Naomi, like my I guess group of ladies that I really am always rooting for. And it was nice seeing Jade get another win. I'm curious if she's gonna have more to do back with the Naomi storyline. In a few weeks, or if we're going to kind of back off and let the Naomi storyline kind of let her go through the rungs with the other ladies, on the roster. Because we passed the point where Jade was on the windshield and everything, and the whole plot line of that. Because obviously I think she was healing from something, I believe, but they made it into the storyline, and now it's got legs. So now I'm curious if we're going to go back to Jade a little bit more, or if Jade is going to start getting her own kind of storyline now, possibly maybe involving Nia Jax and the other ladies. Because Naomi's story now has become its own standalone story. Originally, it had more to do with her and Bianca and her and Jade and their friendship of the trio, but now it's become more the Naomi show, which I enjoy. Naomi's been talking big stuff. Tiffany Stratton, I could deal without her. I don't know what it is about her. I don't care about it. It'll never be Tiffy time for me. I know BA had touched on the little emergency machine gun Kellys and Wide Six. Same thing I would repeat too is that their whole thing is tired. They either might as well dismantle the group possibly, or figure out another angle for those that are involved, because it's getting to the point where, like he said, we know that the storylines they're going to basically just fight all the tag teams. You know what I mean? Like, because what else are they going to do? It's boring. I don't really care. I don't really look forward to seeing them. They're not even scary as much as they're just kind of, or spooky as much as they're kind of just like they kind of are corny right now. If that's what I want to say, they're kind of corny right now. So I don't. Every time they come on the screen, I kind of like have an audible sigh because I'm like, oh, not them again. But as I said, strong episode. I gave it a B because I do feel like tonight we saw a lot of good matches. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot too is that Cody did defeat Shinsuke, which meh, and Andrade and Damian Priest, which again meh. We kind of knew Cody was going to do it because they're trying to build Cody's storyline back up to be fighting one of the main people again because he's starting to lose traction as well. His stuff's getting boring. So we're more interested, obviously, in the Ron killings and the John Cena retirement storyline, not as much the Cody Rhodes and where they want to implant him there, because they implanted him into the bloodline feud at a point, and we were still like, huh, why is he here? What he got to do with it? And I'm sure they're gonna go insert him into somebody else's plot line again sometime soon. I don't know who it's gonna be, but maybe they'll implant him back into the Seth Rollins feud. I guess that's probably where they're gonna implant him. Cody, for the most part, as a character right now, is not able to find a storyline that sticks for him. So he just keeps kind of like touring everybody else's storylines that they got going on right now. He's boring. I kind of would rather him be taking the break right now, being a part-timer, and get Roman Reigns back. But I would say that's overall the things that stuck out to me and the things that were seeing it. And it was on my birthday. So that's it.
Nice. And you say you gave it a B, right? Okay.
Yep, I gave it a B.
All right. So I'm going to continue on my nice trend. I'm going to give SmackDown an A-. A- for me. And I'm going to tell you why. I agree with Travis. This is the best SmackDown I've seen since I started watching wrestling again. And for a few reasons. First time I didn't feel like 3 hours was a problem. I enjoyed all 3 hours of SmackDown this week. Another reason, I did not need Roman Reigns or The Rock. Neither one of them are needed right now. Like, everything is fine without either one of those. I'm fine with that. You see, Ron Killings is killing it. We've already talked about it. I don't even want to go into it more. Another SmackDown where if I would have been in the audience, I'd have loved it. You basically got all the big names again. Like, this is an incredible SmackDown on that. The only weak point of the show, Wyatt Six, they're trash. I'm sorry. I've said that before. I told y'all that, like, I think it was a while ago when they first came on. I was like, they're gone. They have nothing for these guys. This is corny. They're trying to be Bray Wyatt. They're not Bray Wyatt. This is trash. They're done. Their match, not even just their aura, but their match was trash as well. That Machine Gun, that was the first like trash match I've seen Motor City Machine Gun Kellys have since then. I'm not even a Motor City Machine Gun Kellys fan, but that's the first time they had a trash match, and that was trash since they've been there. Jade, it's predictable. I think she's going to be queen of the ring. I think Naomi's going to get the championship. Jade and Naomi is going to happen. Probably have Bianca involved as well. It's predictable, but it's a long-term storyline when you're doing something and you're finishing the story. That's what's supposed to happen. So it's okay to be predictable sometimes, but like, just finish the story the right way with the right moves. And if it all works out, everybody should be pushed at the right place. So I was fine with that. Cody Rhodes, I knew he was going to win. Randy Orton, I'm fine with Randy winning. That's my guy. I thought LA Knight was going to have a chance to be the king of the ring. With him not being the king of the ring, I don't know if he'll ever be champion. That's why I got to the point where I saw where that happened, because even with him going to like the Seth Rollins thing, he's not really beefing with Seth Rollins as much. It's kind of with his guys, his goons, as far as Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. So it's like they're going to probably use him to feed to them, to build them up now. And I think LA Knight might be that shit may have sailed, Travis. I'm sorry. But yeah, so Randy won that match. What else? The Charlotte and Alexa Bliss was perfectly fine. One of them had to win. Alexa Bliss got the victory. What else am I missing here? Good to see CM Punk there. He's still on his way to Saudi. I think he tried to attack that in a way, saying he'll go to the moon or go to hell or whatever to fight to get John Cena or conquer him. So that's supposed to be him going there doing that. But right now, like I said, I don't need Roman. I don't need The Rock. 3 hours was fine. And if that's happening with Ron Killings right now being that guy and doing what he's doing, then we have a fire moment right now in wrestling. So I'm going to give this show, like I said, A-. Only reason it doesn't get an A or A+ is because of the Wyatt Six and Machine Gun Kellys. I thought this was an incredible show.
Yeah, I think that
No, go ahead, Devon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually forgot to mention the Wyatt Six situation, and between them and Jacob Fatu, for me, it feels like there's no real plan.
Yeah.
There's a plan for Jacob. We can see a plan for Jacob, but the Wyatt Six, it doesn't seem like they have a purpose right now. That's the problem, in my opinion. The other thing is, if they're going to try to mimic what happened with the original Wyatt family, or if they try to take that supernatural type presentation, I need to see more moments where the lights go out and they just appear, and just beat everybody up. When they first started and they were hunting Chad Gable, or I guess torture him, I don't know how you want to say it. At least they played a little bit with the supernatural. They didn't go too far with it. They had a little bit of it, and then they kind of brought a little bit of realism into with it, but there was no purpose. There was no point. There was no reason to really attack Chad Gable, except if Chad Gable did something to one of them in the past or whatever. But right now they don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna say again, Devin, like I always say, and people always give me flack for saying this. The original Wyatt family were all heavyweights. There's only one heavyweight in this new Wyatt family, and that's Eric Rowan, as far as being back again. The rest of the guys are little small dudes. It does not work. They're not guys that can destroy. They gotta go fight Chad Gables in them, because they can't be. Who else? Who are they going to attack on the main roster? That's a heavyweight. Come on, the Wyatt Six. We won't believe that. It's kind of like the Rey Mysterio thing. This is a trash gimmick. It's something to just hold Bo Dallas where he need to be, or something like that right now, and give him a little something. He doesn't. If you're going to create something different. Give him a character he can actually build off of. Don't try to build off of Bray Wyatt. He's not Bray Wyatt. You feel me? That's how I feel about that. And also, I want to say about the Jacob Fatu thing before we move on. I didn't say nothing about that. Jacob Fatu, I like Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's the man. I know Justin said this whole thing. I said before, though, you should have gave Solo the championship first. That was my whole thing. I feel like now with Solo doing his evolution and all that, and Jacob Fatu kind of becoming a face where he has to talk more, Solo's now starting to outshine Jacob. That's my thing with Jacob and Solo. It was supposed to be before where Jacob supposed to be that guy and doing the thing and being the Simone Werewolf and all that stuff. But now the comedy and like the I guess the Godfather-esque mood, the way Solo is right now and the way he's clowning and all, it's like I'm kind of feeling Solo. I'm like, what are you doing, Jacob? What is going on? So that's the only thing I feel about Jacob. Like, obviously Jacob's not done and he's not gone yet, but being a face and being one of the guys who come out there and talk to people again and again, that's why I say the difference is I don't know if guys are going to be, when the people crown people and say, hey, I got Jacob Fatu is going to be the next big thing and all that stuff. I'm like, well, they thought a lot of people were going to be the next big thing until you got to be a face and be the guy to draw the crowd and all that stuff. So I'm not done with Jacob Fatu, obviously, and all that stuff. But right now, I feel like Solo is.
So I want to respond to that in agreement, because we had this throughout wrestling. This what you're saying right now, this issue that we're having right now, we had it throughout wrestling. But you know what people like Jacob Fatu had? They had managers.
Yes.
They had people to filter that, to buffer that. And wrestling today is only Paul Heyman. So it's like you have no buffers, you have no Jimmy Harts, you have nobody, no Bobby Heenans of the world. It's none of them to help these guys that you're talking about that clearly see that they're so talented. They clearly can have a championship run, but it might be too much for them. Shoot, even Bobby Lashley started to have MVP when you go to other affiliations. So I'm like, clearly there's a problem here. Go ahead.
All you need Jacob to do is yell taglines, like he was doing when he's a part of the bloodline. I love you, Solo, or even the Yada means, you can yell all that stuff, but just yell Umaga, yell taglines. Like you got, what's his name, Armada, Estrada, whatever, beside you, or whatever. Like he's the voice or whatever. Like you don't need to be talking. He's a monster, supposedly. If he's a monster, why do you have him constantly?
The more you talk, the worse. The
That's why they didn't have Kane talk
give him too much personality. Yes,
Kane's mystique was we don't need his personality. We know his parents died in the fire.
He becomes human.
That Undertaker's
he becomes
his
human.
That's all
he
we
becomes
needed
human,
to know.
babe. He becomes human.
Well,
and you don't want him to become human, because if he becomes human, it weakens
Yeah.
him. He's supposed to be a monster.
Yeah, it weakens the story.
Yes, but that's my overall take. Like I said, I want to keep moving because I know I won't be here for an hour and a half. Shout out to Devon. But we're gonna keep moving. Travis, what was that segment brought to us by?
By the good people at Fanatics.
Yes, sir.
This I Was Told segment is brought to you by the folks over at Fanatics. Fanatics is the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love the most, including WWE. You can earn fan cash to redeem them in your orders, jersey protection for when your favorite player is traded or changes teams. They also have an unrivaled selection of authentic fan gear and Fanatics exclusives that are only available on the site. So if you need some merch and are interested in helping the channel, scan the QR code on the screen or follow the link, which is always in the description.
Make sure to hit the Fanatics, guys, for anything WWE related. You want to get a championship replica, you want to get a shirt, anything, use that code you saw on the screen, or go to the link that's in the description. But help us out, help the channel whenever you're going to get your WWE apparel. Let's get straight to the tea. All right, Joe. So, as announced by Nick Aldis on the last episode of Smackdown, this upcoming Friday, we're going to get Ron the Truth Killings. I don't know why WWE is still not putting respect in this man's name by having him as R-Truth. They wouldn't have done that to, as I said before, any other like wrestler. We wouldn't be calling Cody Rhodes Stardust still. We wouldn't have commentators still remember or forgetting to call him Cody Rhodes and call him Stardust. But we got R-Truth, Roman Reigns. I said Roman Reigns. Ron Killings going against, I need to put respect in his name, John Cena this Friday. It's not for the title. What do you guys think? Let's just go around. Just who got something to say? What y'all want to say about it? How you feel about this match? Anything about it that make you feel a little suspect about Paul Levesque? Or what do you feel like this is going to lead towards?
I hope Truth gets the dub. That's all I hope. A clean dub.
Is that all you want, though? Go ahead, Devon.
I think that it's a start to something that might take a while. I think that regardless of what the outcome is to this match, it's not the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
My own personal opinion, I feel like the change in the fact that they brought him back because of the backlash of the universe, of the staff and the performers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm hoping that they even change the plans for Cena and who he drops the title to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that it's Ron Killings that ends up turning Cena around and making him face, but also taking that title from him, put him in his place.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he wins or loses this upcoming match, or they might even try to do something like have somebody interfere with it. That way, neither one of them lose face. But however that outcome is, I don't think that it's going to be the end of it. Actually, it better not be the end of it. I guess I should say it like that.
Yeah.
This can't end in this match just to try to say, all right, well, we did it. What else do you want? No.
This needs to be a no contest.
Yes.
This needs to be a no. There's no way. So R-Truth cannot lose this match. If R-Truth loses this match, I'm going off. Like that's I kind of don't want R-Truth to win this match. You feel me? Because I don't want Ron Killings to win this straight up because it's just a regular pinfall, which becomes that can leave storylines and all. Like I got the victory in a pinfall. I don't want that. So I want this to become a no contest, which shows like because they're 2-2 right now in their rivalry, like between R-Truth and John Cena. Make this a no contest where it doesn't count, which shows though that R-Truth is like beating the hell out of Cena Dan or something like that. And then it goes to, well, R-Truth got to still be involved. Let's get him up to the title somehow or some way like that. Like that's what I think the best outcome is, but we'll see. Like I said with Paul Levesque.
Let him get angry enough to pull a chair out or something, kendo stick, something, and beat the hell out of John Cena.
Yep. Or somebody come back and try to help. Like the Miz or somebody comes out and try to help. John Cena or something. You feel like somebody, just some other lackey or something. And R-Truth, you feel they have so many people R-Truth can go at. It can be like, it should be like a, Mortal Kombat when you fighting and you're going up that tower or whatever.
That tower.
Rung by rung or whatever. Like R-Truth, all the people that did him wrong, like the Miz and all of them. It could be a, let me get at them one by one to get to John Cena. You feel me? Like that's what it could. Cena should be his Shao Kahn. That's literally how I feel. So I don't know. That's the way I think. But anybody else? Go ahead.
I think Logan Paul returns. I think Logan Paul will be a nice buffer to hold off this real match moving forward. And let's say Logan Paul gets into it, or Ron and Logan go at it. Logan will then take it to social media. Logan will take advantage of the hype that is, and he can add to it. Unlike nobody else can really add the social media heat other than Logan Paul. That is his lane. He can definitely do that. So I think that would be the best thing. I think that would be the best thing if Logan Paul comes and interrupts this match some kind of way.
Logan started taking shots at Ron Killings on like social media already. So he's already. I was going to agree with that. Only reason I'm going against it because I think Logan just broke his leg. I think he put a video out. Go look on Logan's Paul's like
I
YouTube
saw that
when he did the spot with
with the
Jey Uso.
moonsault.
I think he broke his leg, so I think he's out for a little bit. That's the only reason I think if that's all legit because it was on his YouTube and all that about him breaking his leg doing the moonsault and all. So that's the only. I was going to say the same thing as Logan Paul been talking trash. Like that's a stepping stone, kind of like what we said. Get the Shao Kahn. You got to go through Shang Tsung. You feel me? Like that's what's Logan Paul is guy right now. But Logan Paul, unless that's a work.
I think that it gives us the opportunity to have time for Ron Killings to do what he needs to do with Cena without trying to force it all right now. Cena's still got his other opponents that he would have had in his list that he's got to go through. I'm sure Logan Paul's going to be in there somewhere on Cena's list. They already showed the fact that they started being at odds. So I definitely think Logan Paul's going to be in that storyline. But I think just like you said, that tower of competition, something to have R-Truth actively going on a rampage to get to the destination of John Cena without forcing it to happen right now.
He can even fight Damian Priest in them. Like he don't have to be a straight, goody two-shoe baby face. Everybody that's done something wrong to R-Truth or played him like a fool, he should be going after.
And they're going the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of route with them. It looks like so. It looks like it is kind of an R-Truth and Ron Killings kind of thing. So I guess R-Truth is going to be like remember what's his name Anderson that was in the Bullet Club,
Festus.
Festus
When he's Festus.
Yep. When he was Festus. And the bell rang and he just went on a rampage. And I think that and they can go that route because in that he can become an anti-hero, so to speak. I think that's how they would describe Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because even though technically, or Sting, technically they were baby faces, but they weren't baby face. They didn't have the baby face personality.
Tweeners.
Right. So they did the aggressive stuff. They used weapons. They were just, they would do anything they needed to do to get their purpose, their point across. And I think that he has that opportunity to do that with the way that they're presenting him right now. And I know that he can pull it off. He can do whatever the performances that he needs to do to make it work. That interview that he did on Busted Open, the way he snapped after they showed that Bully Ray video, oh my God. I had to pause for a second because I thought he was legit pissed off at them.
This is perfect because they have him right now where he can do all this stuff. Like he can go against anybody there is. He can just Cena, and the guys that are there right now respect him so much. They'll all do the job. Like this is all Paul Levesque's ego, everything. Cena will lose to Ron Killings. Cena will drop it. He was partially involved, and this is why I'm actually respecting the hell out of John Cena after this whole thing, because he was part of the reason the Saturday Night Main Event thing happened. Like he said, I put him in the main event. We had a match, that's a main event of it's still a phony PLE, but it's still a PLE. You get a check for that. He gave Ron Killings that check. I think Cena would lose. He's already established. He already missed the 17 and all that stuff. There's no higher place Cena can go. He would take that out. I think CM Punk would take a step back, even though CM Punk, we've been building up my story forever. For Ron Killings and the way Punk acts and the way Punk operates and talks and all, he would love for this to happen. Roman Reigns, we already know how he used to travel with R-Truth and all that. He loves Ron Killings and all. All these guys would take a step back. Hopefully Cody would as well, to go ahead with this fire storyline. Shout out to Booker T. Booker T said if they put the belt on this guy, it's like that Mick Foley moment all over again. When Mick Foley thought it was trash, and they were like, man, they would never want to see Mick Foley. And everybody changed, and that was the start of, WWE leading the charge again. Put the belt on this dude. He's on TMZ. This ain't no Carlito not on TMZ.
You should. I want to. So let me backtrack on Logan Paul real quick. He has a hematoma in his leg. He
Okay,
thought
so it
that
wasn't
he
broke.
broke his shins. Basically, he has blood swelling in his leg in a sense right now. So he can come. He can literally come back this week and just not take no, beat him up and just get out of there real quick. One of those kind of things. So let me ask you.
R-Truth wins by DQ.
That works for me. Let me ask the panel a question real quick. How do you feel about Jey taking that last spot and not Killings taking that spot?
That's part of my thing.
I think he should have took that spot.
This is business. This is ultimate. Triple H has to drop his ego, bro. He made a mistake and he needs to just say, I made the mistake and move forward from it. He has to. I'm afraid, like I said, TKO, when they announced this match, they put it on social media and all that. And so I'm like, oh, he got a match here. I'm like, this ain't really what I wanted, though. Like, yeah, I wanted him to fight John Cena again, but not at the SmackDown. Like, he could have fought, like I told Devon yesterday, he could have been going against JC Mateo. If you needed Cena to actually wrestle at SmackDown, he could have went against JC Mateo and beat him or something like that. If you just wanted to see him wrestle. There was no need for R-Truth. This is a PLE move. This is the biggest guy, the biggest heat in wrestling right now. This is PLE. So I don't want them to give us this and then say,
we already know how it's going to end.
Yeah, to be like, this is done. I'm
Yeah.
out of it. We gave y'all what y'all wanting away. Like, oh, he gotta. That's not what we want. So I'm like, with that whole not being king of the ring and all, we got to see where Triple H goes with this. But Triple H, I told you, I think Triple H's job went along with this. I think he attached to R-Truth now. This is job.
Yep. Good. And I hope that he realizes that and that Ron Killings gets what he deserves at this point. And I want to throw out real quick just a random fact that John Cena, Ron Killings, and CM Punk are going kind of full circle right now because 13 years ago, Ron Killings defeated John Cena in a tables match, and directly after that tables match was the pipe bomb promo.
Yes, sir.
Ron Killings was involved in that. So even right now with CM Punk stepping in, talking about the truth hurts when Ron Killings put John Cena in the STF, I feel like CM Punk is going to have something to do with helping
R-Truth win the title.
Whether it's winning the title or getting under John Cena's skin or just doing whatever it is to get John Cena to lose his step and give Ron the upper hand. But yeah.
Well, let's get to the next part of the tea. We had a debut. It happened on a, I guess, main event on a what is that? The dark shows now. Are they still house shows? What is it? It's just a dark event before SmackDown or whatever.
It's just a dark show.
But let's see. Shout out to Hikaleo for debuting. Shout out to Wrestle Ops and Blake for that content right there. But anybody want to say anything about that? Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm over it. They better put him in a faction or something real quick because it didn't look. I even watched the match. Tama Tonga.
So
not
did it look good?
Tonga Loa. It wasn't as bad as Tonga Loa, but it wasn't Tama Tonga. And you know, Tama Tonga, one of the lower people on the bloodline. So yeah.
I feel like he's going to go with Solo. I think they're going to put him up on SmackDown to be a part of Solo's stable, in a sense, right? The bloodline stable. And he doesn't. And now, once he gets there, he doesn't need a manager. He doesn't need all that because Solo can do everything. And then you have two monsters that's not. They don't have the streak that Jacob had. That was honestly the problem with Solo the first time. Jacob was like, "Oh, yo, this dude is different." You got two pretty much mundane monsters behind you. So Solo can then take that step and say, like, all right, it's time for me to get some titles now. It's time for me to do it's time for me to upgrade my system because I got two people that you're not effing with in a sense, right? Yeah. So if he joins Solo like I think he's going to, then he could be honestly, bro, like you said, if you think he's trash, he can be trash. He's not
being
there
with
for
Solo,
Solo.
he's just a
He's not
7-foot
there
guy
for
to
his
be his
own.
bodyguard.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Right. He
Bodyguard
just be the
only.
muscle.
I'm gonna give you a check for a couple years. You good, bro? That's it. That's all I need him for.
He gonna be the
6'8",
guy that's
300.
doing Jacob, not talking and all that. He's 6'8"? I thought he was 7 feet. I thought they built him at 7 feet. I thought when they called him out just then, they just said 7 feet when they walked out.
I googled and they said 6'8". So,
well, I can.
But ain't nobody legit 7 feet in wrestling. You know, Big Show wasn't even legit 7. You know,
I think they billing him though at 7 feet. I think
that's cool. He about 6'8". Yeah, he gonna be taller than anybody. JC.
Well, shit, then I'm 7 feet then.
Yes, you will be 7 feet in WWE.
Basically, yeah. Once you get to that 6'8" to 6'10",
Hulk Hogan like 6'4", and they built him at 6'8". So I remember he was in the commercials. What was that, Rent-A-Center or whatever? Besides Troy Aikman, he was getting overshadowed, and Troy Aikman like 6'5", I think. So, but yeah, that wasn't too much. I wanted to get to this last point real quick, and then we'll get to the end of the show. I guess Odyssey Jones, Wrestling WCC dropped a report that Nikki Bella was returning, and that she had been going through situations in her personal life, dealing with domestic violence and all. And as you know, Odyssey Jones was formerly employed by the WWE. He was then released out of nowhere because of allegations of domestic abuse, which I don't know the end story, but I think he ended up getting it dropped, the charges as such. So it's still allegations. But as we know, Nikki Bella has returned, and they're talking about bringing her back kind of on a full-time schedule now, especially being involved in Evolution pay-per-view heavily. But I wanted Queen to actually take a second to actually talk about this and give her overall opinion on Nikki Bella, the situation, and just everything in general, Queen. So the floor is yours, babe.
So, sorry about that. So, in light of just a lot of stuff that's been going on, obviously we know there's been a lot of people being fired, let go from the companies, and that there's been different off-camera incidents that have happened that have distracted from the overall trajectory of a bunch of different people's careers. But I really kind of was annoyed because of the fact that Nikki Bella was involved in a DV situation with her husband, and it turned out that she was actually the aggressor. Um, and because of this, like at the end of the day, like it wouldn't matter who's who, like whether that's female versus male, female, male, or male and female. At the end of the day, like we have seen on multiple different sports that there is a bias towards really the talent. Not as much, I don't even want to say gender, but towards the talent. And because of the fact that she is very associated with the WWE brand and has dated her and her twin sister have both dated former athletes. There is a lot to be said due to the fact that these are both women, and I say both women in terms of her and her sister, and that it shouldn't be tolerated regardless of what your gender is. And Odyssey Jones, if I recall correctly, he had a situation going on with him as well that was domestic violence related, and that he was let go from the company. And the fact that they would bring her back, even though she still technically is in the throes of doing her um, basically like her spousal
Service.
support, her spousal support, and I believe that there was things that she has to do basically to have that cleared off of her record. But her husband had spoke out, explaining from the beginning that she was the aggressor, and that he was the one that was ended up being arrested. But just to kind of just loop around real quick, there is a big issue not only with just people's personal lives carrying over into things that are done reactionary in their careers. I do feel like there is a bias towards males being punished a lot more for even if they're not found guilty for anything relating to domestic violence, and that I feel like WWE not only just kind of glossed over this, but they brought her back, and they're already trying to build a storyline with her, basically against or with Io Sky and the women's division. And like I said, it's setting a stage and a precedence that I don't feel like not only just in 2025 that we want to be participating in, but it really is kind of just showing you the biases towards the talent. She's well protected by WWE, whereas her spouse is not involved with WWE. I believe I want to say he's from Dancing with the Stars, I believe. So he is famous, but he is not as famous as her. Uh, like I was touched on quickly, both the Bella twins have had famous wrestling relationships. One of them eventually at some point I want to say was about to marry John Cena. I think it was her that was going to marry John Cena. And then obviously John Cena, that didn't work out because she wanted to have children and he did not want to have children. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to just address, that because the fact of, especially with Odyssey Jones being a person of color, and that people of color tend to have a lot more punishment laid out before them in society rather than people who are not of color, and especially her being a woman and not being of quote unquote color. It does, again, like I said, set a precedence of what is allowed, what's not allowed. And like he said in his quote, so it's not the situation, it's just the person involved. Like, and as I was saying, is that if she was not who she was, I don't feel like they would have put her back on the roster. But like I've said before, there's a bunch of people that WWE considers good eggs. They got good eggs and they got bad eggs. There's a lot of talent that have been ostracized or punished in some way by the company for things in their personal life, like China, for example. She was punished for participating in pornography and was constantly from their blackballed. She's not in the Hall of Fame, but yet the person that recorded the pornography and also participated in the pornography still gets to come out and do appearances. And if I recall, he is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they put China in
Yeah.
there with her as far as a group, but
Yeah,
they
as
had
the
no
group,
they had
but
no
not her
problem with him at all.
individually. Yeah,
she
she
should
did not
definitely be
get
by herself.
recognition for her individual career, which was
Mhm.
way before she was involved with X-Pac. Because as a lot of people know, she formerly did date Triple H. So she already had a career before that. She was the female wrestler that would have co-ed matches all the time. I'm not going to harp too long on that, but that is an example of someone that was crushed by the actions of WWE, and that they have taken a lot of opportunities to change the narrative of how we view or celebrate these wrestlers. So I don't like that they want us to kind of celebrate her return and hype up her return while not thinking of the fact that she right now does not have a clean slate. Like, she, as I said, she's still actively dealing with this whole domestic violence thing. It is not all the way over yet. So to bring her back was really poor judgment. And as I said, it's even more poor judgment when you fired quite a few talent, which led to the Ron Killings, incident. But that's really all I want to say about it. I just want to say it's kind of just sad. And like Odyssey Jones said, is that it's not the situation, it's just the people involved. And when you are somebody that is not only just associated with the brand in a positive way, I feel like they have some sort of favors that go on backstage, but that's kind of speculation. But there's certain people that get punished and certain people that don't. Like, usually there's certain people that you expect that if they do get punished for something, the punishment will always outweigh if XYZ person did the same thing. But yeah, that was the tea. My opinion of the tea of the week is that I said it's sad. I don't look forward to seeing her, but I don't run the company, so
Well, thank you, babe, for your. Actually, before I move on, for the podcast listeners, I'll read the tweet. Queen basically read it, but I'll read it again. So Odyssey Jones in a now deleted tweet said, "So it's not the situation; it's just the person involved." Noted. So, yeah. Shout out to Odyssey for doing it. Hopefully he's okay with the rest of his career. But Justin, let me go back to you, bro. What was that tea brought to you by?
Tea brought to you by the people from Playback.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show.
Sponsored by True Classic.
Always wanted to try True Classic, but hate shopping online? Keep watching. You've probably seen our ads online. Look, I get it, you're skeptical. I mean, is everything we sell really as soft and well-fitting as we say it is? If you need to try us before you buy us, True Classic now has stores nationwide. Visit one of these stores and you can fit, feel, and outfit a bunch of our customer favorites. So don't wait for shipping or worry about how much to spend. Visit one of our retail stores today and see the True Classic difference for yourself.
Shout out to DDP and True Classic for the ad, but let's get to the questions and comments real quick, see if we got anybody in here. Keep it respectful in the comments, guys. We just asked that. First and foremost, we got our guy, Rel, Tech God, in here, giving us a salute. Appreciate you, Rel, as always. We'll get more into his shows later on. We also got my guy, Latte, here. That's my guy right there. He said, what's good? Ron Killing's best wrestler in 2025. Yes, sir, Latte. He also said, shout out to you guys. Happy Father's Day. Appreciate you, Latte. Appreciate you. And I guess with all that being said, that's the end of the show, y'all. So if you could do us a favor with this week, if you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. If you dislike the show, hit the dislike button. If you love the show, share it to somebody else and let them know about it, about us and what we do over here. If you dislike the show, share it and talk about it. Whatever you do, just share. Like the show, share it, everything in between. Please subscribe as well. And if you haven't already, check out our other shows. First and foremost, though, check out We Talk Combat Clips. It's actually right now under the name We Talk Combat Shorts, but it'll soon be We Talk Combat Clips. Search for either one of them. You should be able to find it, but that's where we leave all the shorts of our current show now. They'll be leaving this channel. We'll actually be having a whole channel just for the shorts version of our shows. So check us out over there. Hit the subscribe button over there. Help us grow that channel as well. Also, if you didn't know already, Cap and Crown, y'all. We're on our way to our first 5,000 subscribers over there. We talk about everything old school and new school basketball, y'all. So hit the sub button over there if you haven't already. Myself and Rel, we do a good show, man. Every like I said, what's that? Monday and Wednesday we do a show, and Friday for members if you want to be a member over there. Also, check out Rel, Will, Jay, and my guy BA on Cuz We Geek, where they talk about everything geek culture. They just had a show. Damn, what did y'all just discuss? I just watched the show, Justin. What did y'all just talk about in the damn last show?
DC and the future.
Yes,
of DC.
as far as the future, the DCU and all that stuff, as far as the two different shows and two different Batmans and all that. Yes. So check that out. They're on their way to their next goal of 500 subscribers as well. Same as this channel over here. Help us out to get to 500. Other than that, anybody else got anything they want to say before I end the show?
Yeah, we'll be showing Sailor Moon on the 21st over on Playback, Sailor Moon R. So, and it's for everybody. It doesn't have to be just girls. If you like Sailor Moon, or you like anime, definitely watch one of our watch-alongs. We have done Akira and we have done Fist of the North Star so far. So this one's, I'll keep this one for the ladies and the magical girlies. So I hope I can see y'all there. If not, I appreciate it either way. If y'all follow our Playback channel, Blow Sun Productions over on Playback.
Screw that. Before we end this, I'm gonna give cheap plugs then real quick, because that's what I do. Queen, she talks Otaku. Check us out on Playback. You can see the replays and all already. She does all that. We doing Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon, one of my favorite animes in general. One of my favorite cartoons. I love Sailor Moon. It's not just for the ladies. The guys will love Sailor Moon as well. Travis, check him out. His tag is under his name, _Travito_ again. He has a bunch of rival videos. He has videos that have been seen by millions. Comedy, sketches, skits, all that type of stuff. Check him out. I know he's a little timid sometimes on the show, but in his videos is always love and all and comedy. Check out BA.
They're hilarious.
Because we geek as well, and he does get off the damn fence. But that's on Tuesday nights, right, Rel? I mean, I'd say Rel. BA.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thinking of too many people right now.
Let me.
No, it's all good.
But get off. Yeah, I know, right? The front. Get off the damn fence. Check them out over there. My guy Larry and Calvin as well. They're on their way to their next goal. Get them to 500 as well, y'all. Great show over there. They talk about a little bit of everything. Devon is the tech god. Follow him everywhere, man. If you are joining the Discord, anything else, and you see anything we post or stream, that's all. Shout out to Devon. So he's the one you should give love for that one. That's how we keep that going.
Shout out to Devon also for coming through in the car. That's dedication to do a show on the road in the car.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. But I didn't want to say that. But
is he?
No, I don't think he's driving. I don't think he's driving.
I'm not driving. Every time I said anything or did anything, I was parked.
Okay.
I was on 95 and I pulled over in the safety lane.
But other than that, thank everybody for watching this episode. We'll have another episode again next week, recapping Raw and SmackDown. Then the week after that, we have the PLE, right? Money in the Bank is after that, right? So shout out to everybody that joined the show today. Subscribe, all that nonsense. But other than that, y'all, this is We Talk Combat. We'll be back next Sunday for another one for y'all. We out of here, though. Peace.